When the first gunshot rang out, everyone in the shopping mall started screaming and running, but security guard Michael Smith quietly hid behind a column because that sound wasn't foreign to him. While 5 armed attackers took control of the main hall, Michael watched them from the shadows, studying their movement patterns, identifying their weapon types. 2 exit points, 5 targets, civilian crowd, he calculated to himself. Michael was forming his plan because although his uniform had changed, his training remained the same. And in the next 15 minutes, everyone at the shopping mall would learn who Michael Smith really was, because some people wear civilian clothes but never accept being prey. Welcome to Hidden Legends. Before diving into this incredible story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today, and hit that subscribe button. Michael Smith was the perfect security guard at Westfield Mall. At 42, he had been working in the same position for 6 years, never causing problems, quietly doing his job. Customers liked him because he was polite and helpful. Managers trusted him because he was controlled in every situation. "Michael is indispensable to us," said security manager Davis. "He never panics, he handles every situation calmly." But Michael's ability to handle things calmly came from very different places than normal security training. Michael's daily routine was the same, minute by minute. He would start his shift at 8 a.m., check the security room, review camera systems. But these checks were different from those of an ordinary security guard. He would map every angle, every corner, every escape route in his mind. His colleagues noticed Michael's observant nature. "Michael, you read people very well," they would say. "Habit," Michael would say briefly. He never went into detail, never provided explanations. Michael's equipment was also different. Normal security guards carried radios, flashlights. But Michael's bag contained military-grade equipment, night vision binoculars, tactical gloves, emergency medical supplies. Michael Smith's real story began 22 years ago. He had joined the Navy at 18. But why? It wasn't family tradition. It wasn't seeking adventure. It was something else. Michael's brother Mark had lost his life in a school shooting. Michael was only 16. That day he had promised himself, "I will protect the innocent, those like Mark." When he joined the Navy, he had entered SEAL selection and passed, but his real training started afterwards. The Navy SEAL Sniper Training Program was a 90-day, 100-hour-per-week course, divided into 3 phases: technology, fieldcraft, and advanced marksmanship. This was the world's most elite program. Michael wasn't just learning to shoot. Camouflage, stealth movement, intelligence gathering in enemy territory, adaptation to various terrains, urban warfare, mountainous areas, maritime environments. Most importantly, he was gaining mental toughness and the ability to adapt to changing situations. Michael's sniper training wasn't just marksmanship. Modern SEAL snipers used advanced digital photography, computer image manipulation, and satellite communications. In his sniper cell, there were special roles: leadership, communications, medical support, and 2 trained snipers. Michael had been trained in every aspect of this system. "A sniper's job isn't just shooting," his instructor Webb would say. "Intelligence gathering, observation behind enemy lines, providing force multiplication in special operations." Michael had embraced this philosophy. Observation, analysis, planning, execution. His first deployment was Afghanistan. Sniper support in mountainous regions. Michael's marksmanship skills were quickly noticed. 800-meter shots, perfect camouflage, ability to remain motionless for hours. His second deployment was Iraq. Urban warfare, high-value target capture operations. Michael made his most difficult shots during this period. Precision shots in civilian crowds, hostage rescue operations. His third deployment was classified operations in the Middle East. For 15 years, Michael had made 89 confirmed shots, never harming an innocent. But the event that really changed him was an operation on the Syrian border. Terrorists had stormed a marketplace in a border town, taking women and children hostage. Michael was providing sniper support for the Special Operations Team. In that operation, Michael had made 4 critical shots from 1.2 kilometers, solving the hostage crisis. But during the operation, A 7-year-old girl had been lost. Michael had been too late trying to save her. That night, crying in his tent, he thought about that little girl's face. He had made a promise to himself. I will find other ways to protect innocent people. Children will never be harmed again. After receiving an honorable discharge in 2018, Michael had transitioned to civilian life. He had used PTSD therapy, adjustment counseling, and career transition support. But Michael's goal was clear. That marketplace operation on the Syrian border had changed him. The face of that little girl he couldn't save still haunted his dreams. Mall security had been a perfect choice. It reminded him why he had chosen protection work. But more importantly, it gave him a chance to detect threats in daily life beforehand. When Westfield Mall hired him, Michael was overqualified. Security certificate, 15 years of military experience, SEAL sniper training. But the hiring committee hadn't asked detailed questions. I've always loved protecting people, Michael had said, and this time he was truly sincere. Michael's duties at the mall seemed simple: patrol, monitor cameras, report minor incidents. But Michael was doing much more. He observed every customer. He detected suspicious behavior. He identified potential threats beforehand. Michael, how do you read people so well? His colleague Jake would ask. Experience, Michael would say. People's body language tells a lot. This experience came from 15 years of intelligence gathering training. SEAL snipers would observe for hours behind enemy lines. Analyzing human behavior, threat assessment were basic skills. Michael had also identified the mall's weak points: security cameras, escape routes, critical positions. He had a 3D map of the entire mall in his mind. Black Friday morning, November 25th, Westfield Mall was more crowded than usual. Thousands of customers, dozens of stores, children, families. A normal shopping day. Michael was standing at the security point on the upper floor, observing the crowd. Everything was normal until 5 people entered through the main entrance. Michael's trained eye immediately noticed something. These 5 men weren't normal customers. Their movement patterns were coordinated, their clothing similar, their body language tense. Suspicious activity, Michael murmured. He reached for his radio, but at that moment the first gunshot rang out. Panic began in the main hall. Screams, running, chaos. Michael quietly took position. Sniper training kicked in. First observation, then analysis, finally action. Michael began observing the 5 attackers from the balcony. A sniper's most important skill was patient observation. He was analyzing in his mind. Leader. In main hall, AR-15 style rifle. Looks experienced. Second man, left flank, handgun, young, nervous. Third man, right flank, automatic weapon, poor coordination. Fourth man, exit point control, amateur. Fifth man, center communications officer, weak link. From SEAL training. Find the enemy's weak link, that's where they collapse. Michael was watching the attackers' movement patterns. They weren't professional. They hadn't received real military training. I can handle this, Michael thought. Michael's sniper training had given him perfect planning skills, calculating every scenario beforehand, preparing alternative plans. He visualized the mall's structure in his mind. Main hall. Most crowded area, attackers' center. Upper floor, high position advantage side corridors, alternative movement routes, emergency exits, civilian evacuation possibilities. Michael's advantages. High position attackers hadn't noticed him. He knew every corner of the mall, 15 years of professional training. Michael's disadvantages: he was unarmed, he was alone. There were civilian hostages, but Michael's biggest advantage was his mindset. SEAL snipers produced solutions under impossible conditions. Michael quietly began descending from the upper floor. Stealth movement techniques from SEAL training, foot placement, breath control, environmental awareness. The attackers were still positioned in the main hall. They were trying to gather hostages. Michael moved to the next phase, weapon procurement. The mall had emergency equipment, fire station, medical supplies, security equipment. Michael knew where these were. He quietly reached the fire cabinet. Inside were axes, breaking tools. But Michael's real target was something else. He secretly entered the security room. There was special equipment that officials kept for emergencies. What Michael needed: radio system. In SEAL operations, communication was critical. Michael switched to police frequency. "This is Michael Smith, Westfield Mall security. Active shooter situation. 5 armed individuals, main hall under control. Civilian hostages present. Police response, copy. Response team en route, ETA 8 minutes. 8 minutes was too long." Michael made his decision. He wouldn't wait. A principle he remembered from SEAL sniper training. Single sniper, multiple target scenario priority order, communications, leadership, heavy weapons. First target, 5th man, communications officer. Michael quietly approached from behind. SEAL, close quarters combat training. Silent neutralization, choking techniques. In 15 seconds, the 5th man was unconscious. His radio was in Michael's hands. Second target, 4th man, exit control. Michael approached him from behind too. This time, he used the axe, a controlled strike to render unconscious. Now, 3 men remained, but they were unaware of Michael's presence. Michael began setting up a game using the radio he had captured. He entered the attacker's radio frequency. "Command unit, status report." The leader responded on radio, 2 men controlling exits. Everything according to plan. Michael: "Intelligence about police arrival. Plan B transition necessary." This was SEAL psychological warfare tactics, disrupting the enemy's plan, sabotaging decision-making processes. The leader began to panic. "What? Which police? 4th man, report." Michael: "4th man not responding. Problematic situation." The attackers started looking at each other. Their coordination was breaking down. Michael's plan was separate the attackers, neutralize them one by one. The 3rd man, on the right flank, left to do exit control. Michael was waiting for him. They met in the side corridor. The man pointed his weapon at Michael, but Michael was faster. SEAL, close quarters combat, weapon control, disabling, neutralization. In 10 seconds, the 3rd man was also on the ground. Now, 2 men remained, the leader and the 2nd man. Michael on radio, 3rd man also not responding. Situation very bad. The leader was now in complete panic. "This can't be." 2nd man, go check. Michael got exactly what he wanted. The separation tactic was working. The 2nd man left the leader alone to go check. Michael was waiting for him in the corridor too. This man was more careful, more experienced, but Michael was a SEAL-trained elite operator. When they faced each other, the man asked, "Who are you?" "Mall security," Michael said calmly. "Security guard? You're the one who took down my friends." Michael: "I'm just doing my job." The man tried to shoot Michael, but Michael had disappeared. SEAL, stealth movement training, becoming invisible, using environment, surprising the enemy. Michael appeared from behind the man, took his weapon, and neutralized him. Now only the leader remained. Michael returned to the main hall. The leader was left alone in panic. He had gathered hostages around him, pointing his weapon at them. "Whoever's there, come out." "Where are my friends?" Michael emerged from the shadows, his hands raised, appearing calm. "I'm here." When the leader saw Michael, he was surprised. You're just a security guard." "Yes, I'm a security guard," Michael said, "and I don't want you here." The leader laughed. "You're alone, I'm armed. What can you do?" Michael's response surprised him. "I'd prefer not having to show you what I can do." The leader pointed his weapon at Michael, but at that moment, Michael moved. 15 years of SEAL training kicked in within a second. Michael rolled to the side, dove at the leader's legs, took his weapon, and brought him down. The hostages watched Michael in amazement. How did you do that?" asked a woman. At that moment, police teams entered. SWAT Commander Lieutenant Morrison saw Michael controlling the situation. "Who are you?" Michael hesitated. It was time to break 6 years of secrecy. "Petty Officer First Class Michael Smith, Navy SEAL sniper, retired." Morrison's mouth fell open. After securing the scene, Michael was taken to the police station for questioning. Detective Sarah Parker directed her questions. "Mr. Smith, can we learn about your real background?" Michael was silent for a long time. Then he began to speak. I served 15 years in the Navy SEALs. I was a sniper specialist. 3 tours of duty, Afghanistan, Iraq, classified operations. Parker couldn't believe it. Why did you never mention this? Because it wasn't necessary. I'm a security guard now. Where did you learn these skills? 90-day SEAL sniper training program, technology, fieldcraft, advanced marksmanship, but most importantly, patience and observation. Why did you take risks today? Michael pointed to the area visible from the mall. There were 300 innocent people. I had to protect them. Michael's story caught the attention of other security firms. He began giving training. Security work isn't just writing reports, he would say in his training sessions. It's observing, analyzing, taking preventive measures. But you were a sniper. We don't have such training. Sniper training teaches you patience. Patience is the greatest weapon. Michael's training program, developing situational awareness, detecting suspicious behavior, emergency procedures, communication protocols, psychological resilience. 2 years later, Michael was still working at Westfield Mall. The 5 men who had carried out the attack that day had been arrested, tried, and sentenced to many years in prison. Michael's greatest achievement was the sense of security he gave to customers. As long as Mr. Smith is here, we're safe, said Mrs. Johnson, a regular customer. One day, mall manager Roberts asked Michael, Michael, do you ever regret it? Leaving your big military career? Michael watched the families in the mall, children playing, families shopping. They were safe. No, Roberts, I protected my country for 15 years. Now I'm protecting my neighbors. Neighbors? Michael pointed to the people. Them. They're all our family, and protecting them is much more meaningful than fighting. That evening, as his shift ended, he looked at the children in the playground. Tomorrow they would come again, play, feel safe, and Michael would protect them. His uniform might be a security guard's uniform, but his heart still beat with the same mission. Michael's story isn't just a heroism story. It's also a story of continuing to serve in civilian life, protective instinct, and silent heroism. Because sometimes the greatest warriors leave the battlefield to protect innocence in daily life. So I ask you, have you ever wondered about the extraordinary stories behind ordinary uniforms? Do you know the hidden heroes who serve silently, showing courage at critical moments? Share in the comments. Because here at Hidden Legends, we believe that real heroes can be found in the most ordinary places. If this story touched you, share it, subscribe, and help these important stories continue. We'll see you in the next legend. And remember, the security guard at the shopping mall you visit might have skills you never knew about. Real heroes change their uniforms, but never their missions.